Yes, good evening to you all. Good evening, good evening. Oh, my microphone is way high, like right in my mouth there. How are you all doing, everybody? Sunday evening, Tottenham Hotspur 2, Manchester City 2. And if ever a game kind of summed up Tottenham Hotspur in two halves, it was this. A horrific first half. Nothing really got going. The stadium was absolutely flat. And then a second half where everything got going and everything worked, didn't it? And fair play to the players. Let's just say straight away, fair play to the players. We've got a a lot of players missing. And it feels like, well, it doesn't feel like it's true. We haven't been able to put out our best 11 once all season. Now we can't even put out half of our best 11. But I thought they gave it a real good go today. I was worried, I'll be honest. I was worried that this game at one point was going to really run away from us. Maybe 3-0, 4-0. It looked like we were just all at sea. And then that second half was absolutely superb, wasn't it? And it's given a lot of food for thought. It's given a lot of food for thought, hasn't it, to a lot of people? I see, as always, I've tuned in the last couple of hours. I've tuned in to a few shows. Everyone, Frank out and this happened and that happened. It's kind of like we are allowed to assess a game without it always being about the manager in or out. But hey, it was just such a game of two halves, wasn't it? And look, before we get into that, good evening to each and every one of you. I'm sure you all enjoyed the second half and not so much the first half. Lots of positives from today. Dominic Solanke, best I've ever seen him playing a Spurs shirt. Can he keep that up? Who else? I thought Xavi Simons was absolutely superb today. I thought he was superb. Even in the first half when Spurs didn't look great, I thought that he was the one. He was the one causing mischief, putting some great balls down the channels to the likes of Mawani. He was, he was quick in the tackle. He was pressing. I thought he was very impressive. I thought Conor Gallagher was excellent today, especially second half. I thought he showed everything there. I think he showed absolutely everything. All of his experience for me came into play in that second half, winning the ball back, getting the crossover for the Dominic Solanke goal, which we'll talk about a bit later. And then also I thought Paulinho was absolutely immense today as well. He really, really was, wasn't he? I've never seen, I'm just trying to, I'm trying to think if I've ever seen a player that loves a sliding tackle the way he does. I genuinely don't think I have in all of my years and all of the DMs I've watched and the centre halves. And this guy just loves it. And you think this is him playing out of position. And again, we'll look at the formation in a minute. And I'm seeing loads of people going, "Oh, Frank set it up wrong," and I'm looking and going, "What player hasn't got any footballers?" I don't know what some people, are expecting. But listen, there was a lot of positives. It was a tough first half. It was a very tough first half. But I think second half for me, it really does put to bed, doesn't it? Are the players playing for him? Well, you don't see that sort of result if they're not. It now means we're 4 unbeaten. 2 draws, 2 wins. Take from that what you will. Some people will say, "So what?" But I do find it. Really, really positive what we saw in the second half. And what I would like to see, I'll be honest, what I'd love to see this manager given a few games with his best 11. I'd really like to see that. Whether that's Paulinho in the 6, Gallagher in the 8, and Simmons in the 10 with Kudus right, Solanke up top, Porro, Van der Ven, Romero, Adogi. I'd really like to see that before there's too much more judgment. All the other managers that we talked about we've all seen what they can do with injuries and without injuries. And we haven't once seen this manager have anywhere near a fully fit 11. I'd like to see that. That doesn't mean we are going to see it. I'm just saying I would like to see that. Look, it makes a difference, doesn't it, having your better players? And today Spurs were missing a lot of them, but gave it their all in that second half. And, it's interesting, right? It's interesting because I think there was a lot of heart, there was a lot of desire, there was a lot of fight in that second half. It was almost as though, I don't know if they got a kick up the backside at half time. I'm really guessing they did, but they were, they were excellent that second half, and credit where it's due. I know some people just never want to be happy, but credit where it's due. And we move on to a difficult game away at Man United next week, don't we? We move on to Manchester United away, and hey, what do you do with the players we've got? Again, don't worry, we'll block this person in a minute. I don't think anyone's been an apologist for. When do you ever get there, guys? And you think to yourself, what have I said that makes absolute twats like this say things like this? It's very strange. Look, it's a good confidence boost going into the game against Manchester United. Man United, for me, they're working hard. I would say they're playing well. I don't actually think they look amazing. What they have got, though, is they've got goals. They've got goals, haven't they? Cunha and Buemo, Bruno, they've got goals in them. But look, we'll get to that. We'll get to that a little bit later. Also, we are less than 24 hours. Let me just check something. Sorry, just really quickly. Let me just check. I don't think I've set something properly here. Bear with me 1 second. Yeah, less than 24 hours to go in the in the transfer window. And I'm seeing tonight like Fulham have gone and bought 2 players in the last 4 days, haven't they? Fulham have gone and bought. Hang on, let me just get rid of this troll. Sorry, 1 second. There we go. Let's ban him. I've just checked. His account has only been live for 12 days, so it kind of tells you everything you need to know. I'm seeing Fulham tonight have gone on. They're bringing in Pepe, right? They've gone and bought Bob at 60 million spent like that, and I don't believe I've seen them sell anyone. So we'll talk a little bit about that as well. We'll talk a little bit about that. But look, let's have a look at the game, and we know how we lined up. Here we go. We know how we lined up. Let's have a look. So Spurs, give or take the front three, whatever you think it looked like in whatever form. But that was roughly how we started, right? With Romero, Dragoshin, Paulinho as a back three, Gray on the right, Adogi on the left, Basuma and Gallagher in the middle, Simmons, and then Cullum and Dominic Solanke. And it's fair to say we didn't quite get to grips with it in the first half, did we? We didn't get to grips with it at all. There were so many times where players had the ball and I was like, shoot, shoot, come on. Everyone's trying to walk it in. Mawani was played in 2 or 3 times down the left-hand side. And I'm like, come on, can you get a shot away, get a cross away? And he never did. As I said, I thought first half, a lot of them struggled. I thought Basuma had a really poor half. And this is the problem, isn't it? You never know with Yves Basuma. You never know with Yves Basuma what sort of, we'll come back to that in a minute. You never know what sort of performance you're going to get from him. I thought he was quite good at Burnley. I thought he was very good against West Ham. And then today, I just didn't think he was good at all. He was at fault, I guess, for the first goal. And I just don't think he got into it. I just don't think he got into the game. Conor Gallagher, I thought, was busy, worked hard. He spoke after the game, didn't he? He actually said after the game that he's working his way back to his fitness. He said he was working his way back to his fitness. And he said he hasn't played many 90-minute games. So, But I thought he was very good today. I thought first half he worked hard. Second half, I thought we saw some quality on the ball as well as his working hard. But let's go. I thought Vicario again. I'll be honest, guys. Vicario really worries me. He really, really worries me, Vicario. Whenever that ball goes into his feet, you just feel like, oh my God, what's going to happen? Is he going to sky it? Is he going to give it away? Is it going to fall under his feet? But look, let's have a look at the back three. I thought it was one of those games. I thought Paulinho was excellent the whole way through. I thought he was very, very, very good. Feel free to let me know what you think in the chat. And big up to you, Ben. Big up to you, my man. Yeah, a fleeting view of Ben today. Yeah, Paulinho I thought was absolutely excellent the whole game. And I thought Radu Dragusin, I thought he grew into the game a lot for me. I thought he grew into the game a lot for me. What I liked about Radu Dragusin today was he doesn't slow the game down. He tries to get on with the game. And you could see him. He was saying to him, come on, like, let's get up the pitch. And then I looked across at Romero, and it was the opposite. Romero just slows the game down at every opportunity. At every opportunity, he slows the game down. And we always go, oh, there's no one for him to pass to. But Dragusin managed to get on with it. Paulinho managed to get on with it. They did in the first half and the second half. Romero, for me, puts his foot on the ball, and you're like, come on, like, you're the captain. Let's get some, let's get these people moving up the pitch. Look, I thought he was poor today, Romero. I thought he was really poor. He did his usual in the first half. He did his usual, didn't he? I'm sure you all remember the incident where he ran into midfield for no reason at all, and they got him behind. And you're like, oh my gosh, please just stop doing it. You are the captain. You are the captain. But look, I thought that Radu Dragusin, I thought he had a good game. I thought he grew into the game. Got to remember, this is his first start for like over a year. His first start for over a year. So for me, I thought Radu Dragusin can hold his head high today. I thought he did really well. Yeah, we say Romero was ill, but I'm just seeing the same from him today that I see most games, which is he's either brilliant in moments of the game or he just switches off. This switching off moment is the reason why I've never, ever thought he's as good as some other people do. Top centre-halves don't switch off as much as he does. Hey, but anyway, then you look, I thought Archie Gray, I thought Archie Gray did some decent things. I didn't notice him loads, but he worked hard, good endeavour. He's still not there for me, but he is still young, if people want to say that. But he did okay. He did okay today, Archie Gray. Destiny Udogie, he frustrates the life out of me. I'm not going to lie to you. In that first half, how many times, right? How many times in that first half, Destiny Udogie is driving down the left-hand side and he just stops. And you're like, you could see Frank saying, keep going. His teammates are, and he doesn't. Now, I don't know whether that's, I don't know whether or not that is just coming back from injury, how he plays, but there were so many times today where it was like, come on, mate, you've got loads of grass to run into. And as a wide player, I was always taught this, as a wide player, that is the dream, grass to run into. Right? You don't want bodies to run into, grass to run into. And for me, he just didn't, I don't know. I thought second half he was better, but first half for me, again, it was just all a bit, it was like he was holding back. And I see this quite a lot with him. Ash, I've heard something very similar tonight. I've not this exact thing, but I've heard something very similar. Now, Ash, look at the world we're in. We hear things all the time. But look, Marmouche isn't getting games, is he? Oh, he's Xhaka, here we go. Wow. So Liverpool have taken that deal. Like, yeah, it is. Look, Fabrizio Romano, Jeremy Xhaka to Liverpool. Here we go. For June, 60 million euros plus 10 million euros. Yeah, there you go. They haven't messed about, have they? Why couldn't we get any players sorted for the summer? Why? Hey, Tottenham, we'll get into it. We'll get into it. But yeah, so for me, I think that Destiny Udogie, I'm not sold on him. I'm not. I know lots of people will talk a lot about. I've heard for 2 years, for 2.5 years now, that when he was at Udinese, when I, first of all, I don't support Udinese. I support Tottenham. For me, I don't see enough in him that makes me go, yeah, you are it. We'll see. We'll see. Maybe can he? Listen, it doesn't help that he can't keep himself fit, does it? It really doesn't help that the guy can't keep himself fit from 1 month to the next. But look, I thought he grew into the game. Another one, I thought he grew into the game. I thought Radu Dragasing grew into the game. And then when we look at the two midfielders, as I said, Basuma for me, I thought was poor. I thought Conor Gallagher was really good today. I mean, Conor Gallagher, as I say, everyone knows I'm a big fan of Conor Gallagher. But, once he gets himself 100% fit, I mean, I don't even know how many of our players are actually fit. It feels like no one is fit in this team. Paulinho, I mean, you look, Dragusin has just come back from a year-long out, right? Udogie's just come from a big injury, right? Basuma, injury and not playing, right? Solanke's come back from a massive injury. It just feels like I just want to see Tottenham have a team that isn't fully injured. So, look, I thought, first half I thought he was good. Second half I thought he was excellent, and I thought he really did lead from the front with his experience. Really good. He was getting on the ball. Really good in the tackle. His energy, his commitment, and for the goal, the way he won that ball, beat his man, whipped the cross in, and then an excellent finish. And we'll talk about Solanke in a minute. But a really good performance. I thought Sarr, let me mention him as well. I think that game was perfect for Sarr in the second half. I don't think Sarr's a great footballer, but what he does have is a great engine, and he never, ever, ever fails to commit. He never fails to commit. I don't think technically he's that good. I don't think he's not a passer of football, but he came on and he really did add some zip and some bite into that midfield. Frank changed the tactics, and it worked, right? So yeah, fair play to Mata Papasar as well. Then when you look a bit further forwards, Xavi Simons, I thought was brilliant from day one. From minute one. I think he was brilliant from minute one. You know what he is? He's not just, we'll talk about his technical ability in a minute, because you can have the heart and the fight like a Sarr, but he's got that, Xavi Simons, but he's also got the quality in his feet. He's got that technical ability to say, give me the ball, I will make things happen. And there aren't many footballers at Tottenham that have that. You think James Maddison is one that's got that in his feet, right? And I thought he was absolutely brilliant today. Even in the first half, I thought he played some really good forward passes into Mawani, into Solanke. And you're thinking, get a shot away, especially Mawani. Thinking, get a couple of shots away, and he just didn't. He hesitated. But I thought he was absolutely brilliant, Xavi Simons. I thought he was brilliant against Dortmund. I thought he was brilliant against Frankfurt. I thought he was brilliant again today. And I think we're starting to see confidence go into him. And this is why when fans talk about players and go, oh God, what a waste of money that was. Whoa, just relax. You can see there's a footballer in there. Same with Florian Wirtz, right? Florian Wirtz now is in the groove. But everyone at the beginning of the season, all the childish people online going, oh, 007, he's played 7 games, no goals, no assists. Let them have time. Let them build. Let them grow into the new country, the new team. And I think what you're seeing from Xavi Simons is that confidence is flowing a little bit more now. Now, it doesn't mean he's going to be excellent every single week, but the signs are there. And I think that Xavi Simons next year, I think we're really going to see the best of Xavi Simons. You know, the year to settle, and then I think next season, you know, a year, a summer in the gym, obviously World Cup as well. But technically, you're right. You're right. Yeah, yeah. Technically, he is superior to the rest of his teammates. He is. You know what Paulinho gives you. You know what Gallagher gives you. What Solanke gives you. But Xavi Simons is that. He's that one little bit of technical brilliance. He's that difference maker. So, and a wonderful, wonderful pass in, right, with the outside of his boot into Solanke, who we'll talk about him in a minute. But look, so hopefully we'll continue to see this from Xavi Simons. He looks like he's bulked out a tiny bit. Looks like he's been in the gym, getting to grips with English football. But look, when you've had no Madison or Kulu now for, I mean, how many months? 7 months? However, do you know what I mean? We've had no Madison or Kulu, and we need that creativity. We need that creativity, and he's improving. He is improving. Big up to my man, Nige. How you doing, Nige? Hope you're well. It's his best Premier League performance by Xavi, starting to make Spurs tick. Yeah, listen, I really like him as a footballer. Now, you can critique players, of course. Everyone can be critiqued, but he's a really good technical player. And I do, Alfred. I do, because I think these technical players want to play with each other, and their passing and their link up is what allows them to shine. It's what allows them to shine, right? You look at Pedri and Gavi both playing for Barcelona, for example. Look how many years Man City have done this with the likes of Silva and De Bruyne and Mahrez and Foden. They want to link up together. It takes the burden off it being all one person's job. And for me, I think that Xavi Simons today, that was a real eye-opener in terms of, you put that together for the entire game, mate. So really, really well played. I'll save Solanke till the end. Mawani. Now, I didn't think Mawani was as bad as other games I've seen. But again, I don't know if you guys agree. Right? I don't know if you guys agree with me here, but it always feels like when he's closing down, so when he's pressing, or when he's got the ball, or when he receives a pass, it always feels to me that Mawani's doing it always about 50 to 60% heart, if that makes sense. It never feels like it's 100% commitment to press, 100% commitment to get that cross in or chase down or run with the ball. It always feels to me that he's just kind of going through the motions a little bit. Now, that could be because he doesn't want to be here, right? And if that's the case, then that's the case. But for me, I don't think you're seeing a player that wants to be at the club. I don't think you're seeing a player that's going to be at the club next year. And I think that we're seeing now that he's playing more through necessity than anything else. I don't think that if everyone was fit, that we'd be seeing as much of him. If Kudus was fit right now, if Madison or Kulu as well, I don't think we'd be seeing as much of this guy. So, look, I don't think he did anything terrible today. But as I said, I've mentioned a few times, he was put into some positions in the first half where you're just thinking, right, take your man and whip a shot in. Do you know what I mean? Have that striker instinct. Ball out your feet, boom. And he just doesn't quite have that in him for us, right? It just doesn't for us. So much for your take on Spurs having a crap squad of players. Well, if the squad was so good, if the squad was so good, my friend, why for the last 3 years are we averaging 13th in the Premier League? Ask yourself the question. So, hey, it's fine. Let me just double check. I'm just going to check that account. Let's see how many, all have a guess in the chat. How many days do we reckon that account has been a real account? Let's have a look. It's called Operation Get Sterling. Here we go. Channel activity. They joined 4 minutes ago. See you later. God, these trolls. Don't you think these trolls get really, imagine your life was that. Imagine your life was being such a dick that you keep getting blocked and then you just create new accounts. Absolute dickheads all over the place. Anyway, so for me, look, I thought Mawani, yeah, it's just not quite there for me. It's not quite there for me. Then Dominic Solanke, first half, not in the game at all, right? Struggled to get in the game, right? Second half, well, if that's the Dominic Solanke we're going to see all year, every year, yes, please. Right? Yes, please. If that is the Dominic Solanke we're going to see week in, week out, yes. If that is the new version of Dominic Solanke post-injury, yes. Now, I don't get carried away because it's only been 4 games since he's been back, but he has played 4, scored 4. As a striker, you can't ask any more from your striker than played 4, scored 4, can you? That's the dream, 1 in 1. So, look, I think that Dominic Solanke did some really good things today. I really did. I mean, look, I thought his hold-up play for the first goal was brilliant, absolutely brilliant. Great ball into him, as we said, by Xavi. Good turn, managed to get the shot away without going too hard in on Guehi. And listen, I thought he did really, really well. I thought he did really well for that goal. And then the second goal, what do you say? That was a lovely finish. And look, I'd love to be proved wrong. I've never been Solanke's biggest fan. If he can keep doing that, brilliant. If any Spurs player does that, right? I feel like I do feel like Phil. Oh my God, I had to walk miles away from the oh God, it was awful. I do feel that we sometimes get so bogged down on who said what a year ago, 2 years ago about. For me, listen, I want to see that consistently from Solanke. And we know he's not 100% fit either. Again, I don't think anyone is playing 100% fit for Tottenham right now. So I want to see, one second. There you go. I want to see, can he keep that up? Can he do that over a year? I'm not saying a goal a game. Otherwise, we'd be looking at nearly 40 Premier League goals. But, since he's come back, I thought he was very good. That, when he came on the other night, I know Frank will get no, I know he'll get no credit for this, but I thought he's managed his time really well. Starting, not starting. I think he's managed his time well. I think he made the right call by not putting Matisse Tell back in the Champions League squad. A lot of people threw their toys at the pram about that one, but I absolutely thought it was the right thing to do. And listen, I think that from my point of view, I think that he's come back and he's looking, he looks different. He looks different. Now, maybe because we're seeing him more in the forward areas. I thought that last year, he was so deep all the time. I didn't feel like we actually ever got him into the penalty area. But so far, so good. And that second goal today is beautiful, right? That's a wonderful goal. And absolutely got the crowd off their feet. I thought it was a really, really good goal. Let me just double check this. Yeah, there's loads of transfer news coming in across all of the world, not for Spurs, but loads. So yeah, listen, long may that continue, right? Long may that continue for Dominic Solanke. I'm not one of these people on the internet that 1 week I think you're amazing, 1 week I think you're shit. For me, it's all about consistency. As I said, really nice to see that Solanke's picking up form. Really good to see that Xavi Simons is starting to. Let's just see this now, more and more and more. Now, I am not somebody that has got carried away. I don't think we're in a relegation battle. We are now 9 points above West Ham. I believe we've got a superior goal difference. Let me just double check this. What's our goal difference? So our goal difference is 21 better than West Ham's. So that gives you an extra point. 9 points plus the goal difference. We're now 10 points essentially above West Ham, which means whatever we do, whatever we do, West Ham have to better it by 4 games. And what I mean by that is, if Spurs win 4 of their last 14 games, West Ham will need to win 8 of their last 14 games. It's not going to happen, is it? It's not going to happen at all. And I'm not worried about the relegation thing. For me, I think we need to get to the end of this season, and we're gonna see it again. Need to get to the end of this season. Hope that the owners are going to actually start buying some proper footballers. And wouldn't it be lovely? Wouldn't it be lovely to start next season with a fully fit squad? I know it's crazy, but I feel like we can't ever put out the same 11 or anywhere near it this season. We are constantly having to chop and change, and there's no rhythm, there's no flow, there's no fluidity, and everyone's on the players' back and the manager's back. And, I just want 1 year next year of this not happening. That's all I want. 1 year of this not happening. That's all I want to see. I don't know about you guys. That's all I want to see. I want to see a year where most of the players are fit, where the manager's got options. All right, this week, is it Kudus? Next week, is it Kulu? That's what I want to see. That's really what I want to see. And listen, you're always gonna have injuries, of course you are. Yeah. Listen, look, I've just heard from a couple of people that Marmoush is one that we have phoned and asked about. Use the term that we have asked about. I don't know if it's true at all. 24 hours to, God, there's not 24 hours, are there? There's something like 21 hours of the transfer window to go. It makes sense for all involved, right? We need forwards, and I still think we do need forwards. We need forwards. Marmoush is not getting game time, and I think it makes sense. But I don't know. This could be a complete lie. Who knows? Maybe nothing is going on there. But I'd be a bit more excited. Imagine you're going to Man United next week and you've got Xavi Simons in the 10, Solanke up front, right? With let's do it. Let's do this. Let's add. So next week, let's assume that Van der Ven and Romero are both fit, right? If I said to you next week we were going in with forget the formation. Let's just. So I was putting Omar Mamouche there, Simons there, Solanke. I'd love to get Paulinho back into there, if I'm honest. I'd love to get Dancer. I don't know. Again, I don't know how fit he is. Dancer or Dragosin, Romero there, and then Mickey van der Ven there. Now, if I said to you, we were going to, and that would be Spence's out, so it would probably continue to be great. So if I said to you that we were going to Old Trafford with that, it's just a little bit different, isn't it? There's a bit more there in that front three, with Solanke side of play, Marmouche is running, Simons firing the through balls. Then it gets Paulinho and Gallagher back into their actual positions. I know Gallagher's playing in his position at the moment, but I actually think if you had, with the options we've got, by the way, because I know we all know that we need to buy a ball playing number 8, but if you had Paulinho, in the 6, Gallagher as your box to box, and Simons as your number 10, starts to fill me with a lot more hope going to these clubs, and then Van der Ven, Romero and Danso, it gives you a bit of everything: ball playing, pace, great in the air. So you're starting to see a little bit more, and bearing in mind that is still without Kulu, Kudus, Maddison. That, do you know what I mean? Porro. You're still missing a lot of football. Bentancur, Bergval, Davis. You're still missing a lot of players, but hey, it would just be something different, wouldn't it? It doesn't have to be that exact thing. Maybe Marmouche goes right, Simons left, Solanke through the middle, but just the difference it could make if a player like Marmouche was to come in. Now, I don't know how many of you watched Marmoush in Germany, but he was absolutely explosive. And he's gone to Man City and not really got the game time. But I think that for Spurs, I think he could be a bit of a revelation, to be honest. And maybe that turns into but this is all hypothetical, by the way. It's all hypothetical. Maybe we all wake up to this tomorrow. And by the way, I'm going to have a transfer show all afternoon between 3 p.m. and 7 p.m. So, look, maybe you get him in and you have a loan with an option to buy. You say, hey, Dan, hey, Marmoush, come here, play the last 14 games, plus play for us in the Champions League. See how you like it. See how you link up with Xavi Simons. See how you link up with Dominic Solanke. Maybe that three forms a lovely front three, and you go, well, there you go. Well, there you go. There's your forward sorted out for the summer. I don't know. I'm just spitballing. I'm just spitballing. Listen, I hear what you guys hear. Come on, listen. Anyone, if people aren't going to grow up, I'm just going to get rid of them. Gallagher was definitely not garbage in any way, shape, or form. Let's just try and be mature just for one night on the internet. Let's try and be mature for one night. Let me do some super chats. First of all, big up to Andy Lester. How you doing, my man? Yeah, member show. I will. I know. I will this week. Now that the transfer window is going to be shutting, we will definitely have one this week. So fear not, we will have it. Okay, don't you worry. Thanks, Andy. Really appreciate you, my man. Really appreciate you. DB forever, always with a super sticker. Thank you, as always, my man. Very, very, very generous. Queen Ellie, been a member for 1 month. Says Savva, Vicario is a good winker. Yeah, Ellie saw Vicario after the game in his car, and she got a cheeky little wink. Big up to you, Ellie. And then, wow, this is massive. Ellie, this is you didn't need to do this, Ellie. You didn't, but she said, for some of your cab fare home, Savva, and for giving Archie a mention, as I know Lubo will be raving about him, and you may need to invest in some earplugs. Listen, that's very, very generous. Look, as I said, I thought Archie Gray was okay. Yeah, yeah, listen, I think that he did a job. I thought he did a job. I feel like there's very much still for me is like watching a young boy play rather than man. But hey, listen, he's playing. He's doing okay, and it is what it is. But this was far too generous. So thank you very much. I really, really do appreciate that, Ellie. So thank you very much. Very naughty, but thank you very much. Look, it's one of those games where I see online people saying, "Oh my God, Spurs fans celebrating a draw," and you're like, "Well, yeah." Yeah, because do you know what? We've got half our squad missing. Of a 25-man squad, half of it is missing. We're playing Man City. We're 2-0 down and we come back to 2-2. Yeah, why would you not be happy with that? Exactly, mate. Exactly, Ash. My phone is always in front of me. I'm just trying to see. Liverpool have agreed a fee. Yeah, we know that Liverpool have done that. Jamal Lascelles as well is going to Leicester. There you go. Jamal Lascelles is going to Leicester from Newcastle. Yeah, I mean, I tell you what's really interesting, guys and girls, is we've seen in the last 4 days, Fulham have laid out £60 million, haven't they, on two forwards, Pepe and Oscar Bob. And you're thinking to yourself, hang on, we've spent 12 million net. Surely if Fulham are stumping up 60 million quid, surely we can stump up some money for some players. So will Madison or Cooley be ready for next week? I think you know the answer to that question, don't you? I think you know the answer to that question. But no, listen, I don't know. Listen, look, Tom, rumors and more rumors. Look, maybe we wake up tomorrow to this news. Maybe we don't. With Spurs, I wouldn't be surprised either way, right? What I would say about today as well, I know a lot of people don't think it's important, but we are now 4 unbeaten. So, we are 4 unbeaten. And that may not sound massive, but baby steps, right? Baby steps. We are starting to see now a lot of tactical flexibility. We are starting to see that players are having to dig in, even though they're very tired. And Danny, absolutely. This is all I said, right? We saw Ange with his best players. We saw Jose with his best players, Conte. We saw all these other managers. We have not seen Frank have a first 11 out once. That's all I would like to see. Doesn't mean he's going to get that time. But for me, I just think that we need all the noise to settle down. It can't be after every single game. Everyone's, I watched a few YouTube channels earlier. It was like, I blame Frank for that draw. What do you mean blame him for the draw? Like, sorry, everyone was saying we were going to get battered. What's going on? Dude, I don't know. I should think that there's quite a lot of money. I should think that there is quite a lot of money in the coffers. We didn't spend too much in the summer, and we've not really, and we spent 12 million net in this window. So I would think that there's a lot of money to spend. And I think that's the frustrating thing. If we were, if we were a team that didn't have a lot of money, if we were like I don't know, who's not got a lot of money as a club. I think if we were a Burnley or someone and we weren't bringing in players, right? I think we'd all agree, right? I think we'd all agree that, okay, they're not spending money because we haven't got it. I think that's the frustrating thing, right? That we all know that there is money. And breaking news on Sky Sports, yeah, Liverpool agree deal for Jeremy Jacquet. I've seen him play a couple of times. Good player. Going to be interesting. Liverpool obviously need to start looking at centre halves. I saw this earlier. Somebody said, yeah. No, not for me. Do you know what? No. Can you bear with me 1 second, guys? Sorry, bear with me. So sorry, had to help my wife do something. So sorry. That's the problem. When you go live by yourself, if you have to go and do anything else, you're kind of stuck, aren't you? Yeah, where were we? Oh, good. That's good to know. There we go. This is lovely to know. James Flower is in bed. That's lovely to know. Thanks, James. I will picture that in my head. Thank you. Look, listen, mate, one more of these, you're going to go. It's just silly. I don't think anyone thinks Conor Gallagher had a bad game today. Just stop. Yeah, Lookman has gone to Atletico Madrid. He has, yes. Really frustratingly for me, I'm a big fan of Lookman. For me, it felt like a no-brainer. Now, I'm going to say that tonight that it felt like a no-brainer, right? But maybe tomorrow, this is the deluded football fan in me. Maybe tomorrow Spurs sign someone and we go, that's why we didn't buy Lookman. Now, I don't have any faith in that happening. I'd love it to happen. I think, I know. Yeah, I know. Yeah, I don't work. Yeah. Yeah. Look, I think that Lookman's a really good player. And look, maybe they got some. Look, maybe a Marmouche joins on loan. I don't know. If a Marmouche joins on loan, you go, okay, cool. I get why we didn't go for that. But if he doesn't and no one joins, that will baffle me as a decision. But hey, the club haven't gone for him. He's moved to Atletico Madrid. Some fans think he's not good enough for us, but he's good enough for Atletico. Atletico, by the way, in this last 48 hours are splashing cash. Have you know, Atletico are now 3 or 4 players in the last 48 hours. They are not messing around. But listen, let me ask you guys, and we're not going to go forever tonight. We're just doing another 15, 20 minutes. All right, Steve-O, Gallagher should be nowhere near a man of the match candidate. Okay, I thought it was really good today. Everyone in the pub afterwards saying what a great game Conor Gallagher had. But okay. So let me know, what do we think is happening tomorrow? Are we, you know, are we all going to be sitting here saying, well, it's another Spursy window? Because listen, as much as I loved that second half performance, as much as I think, it's great that we've not lost for 4 games now, the transfer window we can't get away from. The transfer window we can't get away from. Now, at this stage, I can't imagine, unless it's a player that a team is happy to lose, I can't imagine it's going to be anything other than a loan. Because when you go to when you go to clubs on transfer deadline day and say, hey, we want this player, they're going to go, well, hang on, it's deadline day. How can I replace that? And that's why at the moment, a lot of these transfers are all of United merry-go-round. So what was it? Mateta to Milan can happen if Palace get Strand Larson. That can happen if Wolves get, who were Wolves after? Was it Adam Armstrong, I think, from Southampton? And then something to do with Rangers and Cameron Archer. And I don't know, like all of these knock-on effects. But going to a club on transfer deadline day and saying, here's however much money for this person who starts in your 11, most clubs are going to turn around, aren't they, and go, no, what are you talking about? Sorry, you want me to weaken my team with 1 day left of the window? And sorry, on the last day of the window. That's why I'm not expecting anything massive. I do expect that there needs to be a loan. There's got to be we are really struggling for numbers. We had to bring on Janai Byfield to play on the right wing. We're down to that stage of playing 17-year-olds in midfield that aren't midfielders. So I do think that we need to do something tomorrow. Now, do I think it will happen? You never know with Spurs, do you? You never know. We can't ever seem to just do it normally, can we? There always needs to be some sort of caveat, doesn't there? There always needs to be some reason why we couldn't get done what we needed to, but everyone else could, and yada 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 yada. Romano just saying there's no hijacks from Chelsea, and that Xhaka is definitely going to Liverpool. So Liverpool have got their guy ready for the summer. That's how you do business, right? Look at that. They've already got their guy in for the summer. So there you go. Liverpool have started their summer business now in January or February as it is now. So yeah, look, it's all going to be tomorrow. It's going to be about, listen, you would like to think they're in talks now. If anyone's going to join, I can't imagine bids are going in tomorrow. I can imagine that you're already in those talks. But it's going to need to be people that aren't playing, right? That need game time or that the club are not happy with. So, for example, let's have a look at some of the players that have moved. Like Oscar Bob is not getting game time at Man City, so he moves to Fulham, right? That's a nice deal to do, right? It's a nice deal to do. Now, if you went to Man City and went, we would like Jeremy Doku. Okay, hang on. What do you mean? Jeremy Doku's our main winger. Well, you know what I mean? Like you don't get that. You don't get that sorted out relatively quickly, do you? So, look, we'll see tomorrow. I just think at this stage, it's that delicate balance, isn't it? Of we need bodies, but you don't just want anybody. Right? Do you know what I mean? And I think that's the real delicate balance here. But How many transfer windows have we seen this? And this, my man Ash, this is, yes, I'm expecting it, right? I'm absolutely expecting this. Absolutely expecting it. Yeah. Expecting no more business today at Tottenham. There'll be a reporter parked outside um outside the training ground looking for cars going in and out. I do think, though, I'm going to say this. I do think that if they don't bring anyone else in the forward areas, that they are taking the piss out of us. I think they're also taking the piss out of Thomas Frank, and I think they're taking the piss out of the players. We are how many forward players down on January the 1st? You think January the 1st, you had Kudus and Johnson, Richarlison, and Scarlett. I mean, I was, pinch of salt. We've sold Brennan Johnson. Kudus is out injured for 4 months. Richarlison's out for 2 to 3 months, and Scarlett has gone to the SPL. Okay, that's fine. All of that is fine, but where's the reinforcements? You can't just take out 4 players. Do you know what I mean? Surely you can't just take out 4 players and go, oh, that's fine. So look, we'll see. We'll see what tomorrow brings. Look, I for one, I've been doing this so long now, and YouTube and supporting Spurs so long now that I'm just a bit like, if it happens, it happens. If it doesn't, we kind of know that this is what Spurs are, right? We know this is what Spurs are. But what I don't want to hear is, I don't want to hear all the BS that goes with it from the club. The right player wasn't available. I fail to believe that all of these players that are moving across the world of football, that none of them would have been good enough for Spurs. I just fail to believe it. Because, again, when I look at Tells and Odebers, is that enough to get you through? I don't think it is. I feel we should be having better, and those guys should be on the bench. But look, we'll see what happens. Has anyone got any names they think might be coming in? Like, realistically, there's no, like, people keep talking about Endrick. I'm pretty sure Endrick's joined Lyon, didn't he? Didn't Endrick join Lyon in France? But look, you're seeing West Ham making plenty of signings. Villa are making signings. Liverpool now making signings. Fulham have made a couple of signings. Palace are active. Wolves are active. Nottingham Forest are massively active. When you're sitting there going, hang on, Spurs, we've got we've got a bit of an injury crisis. Could we possibly start getting massively active? Yeah. So we'll see. We'll see what happens. Yeah, it's going to be difficult. As I said, you're not going to get anybody's first team starter unless they've planned for it. You're just not, right? You're not. Some people talk about Harvey Barnes. I like Harvey Barnes. I can't see that Newcastle would let him go. They're in the Champions League. They need lots of players. I definitely don't think that they're going to let Harvey Barnes go on transfer deadline day. I might be wrong there, but I can't see it. I think sometimes as fans, I think we've got to take those things into account. El Hadj Diouf, what, the West Ham left back? Really? You think West Ham are going to sell him to us on deadline day? Can't see it. But hey, each to their own. Brahim Diaz being mentioned. Definitely Sterling. Timo Werner is inbound, I've heard. Yeah. Yeah, where did he go to the MLS? Yeah, I see you going to the MLS. I don't know. It's going to be interesting. I think, we're all going to, we're all gonna be sitting here tomorrow. It's the hope, isn't it? Can we be brutally honest? It is that hope that gets you. It's that hope of, can Spurs get something over the line? Yeah, I didn't. He said he wanted to stay at Bruges for the rest of the year, didn't he? So I can't see that happening. Not gonna, again, their first team starters. They're not gonna move on deadline day. Listen, I would love to take Matoma especially. But I don't think you're going to get players that are in the starting 11 on transfer deadline day. Call me wrong. Oh, Florian Plettenberg said that Man United tried to hijack the Jeremy Jacquet deal, but it was too late. God, go on, fair play. Yeah, I don't know where we're going. Well, Leroy Sane, he's in Turkey, right? Leroy Sane's in Galatasaray. Well, Jack, I walked out at half time, but yeah, listen, I don't look. I'll talk about this tomorrow. I'll talk about the protests and walkout tomorrow. That's 2 weeks in a row I've been to see, and nothing happens. This is, and I don't sense in the stadium that there's enough anger at half time. Before I left, I could sense that people are almost resigned to the fact that this is what we are now, rather than anger. I know that sounds mad. Yeah, I thought he was going to Galatasaray. Yeah. Yeah. Look, you know what Spurs are like. We'll see what happens tomorrow. But okay, no, I'm just listen, Ragnar, dude. I'm just listen. People put in names, and I just say what I think about them. Right? People put in names, I say what I think. And as I said, I think it's going to be very difficult on deadline day to do anything that isn't a loan. It's going to be very difficult, right? You can't rock up to football clubs and go, we want your first team starter on deadline day. Now, maybe they've got talks in the offing. So, for example, maybe overnight, maybe the last couple of nights, we've been just hypothetical, we've been talking to Monaco about Akliouche. And in the background, they've been talking to somebody else about their winger to replace Akliouche. If that's all going on, fine. But you can't just rock up to someone on deadline day and go, we want him. They're going to go, well, what do you want us to do? And we did this in the summer with Malik Fofana, didn't we? We did this with Malik Fofana. Who's this? We did this with Malik Fofana. If you approach them on deadline day, the club's going to turn around and go, nah, you're all right. And that's why you don't leave it until the end of the window. But we do every window. Lots of people talking about this. I have no idea, Phil. I have no idea if there's legs. I've heard a few different people give me some different stuff. By the way, guys and girls in the chat, listen, guys, girls, I see a couple of you having back and forths, right? Just relax. It's Sunday night. It's 11 p.m. Stop getting personal with each other, right? It's football. Just stop getting personal with each other. Just relax. If you don't, can I just suggest something really obvious? If you really don't get on, just stop messaging each other. Right? Do you know what I mean? Just join in with everybody else. Diaby, isn't he gone to? I thought Diaby had gone to. I'm just seeing Bellingham done his hamstring. Are we talking about Moussa Diaby? Hasn't he gone to Inter? I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong on that one. I don't know. Guys, Destiny, calm down. Listen, I'm seeing the conversation between you and someone else. Just stop. Just please, guys. Just relax. Honestly, just relax a little bit. There's, just relax. It's really not worth the. Come on, isn't life a bit too short? Isn't life a bit too short for all that? So yeah, listen. Look, we'll see. Right, we'll see what happens tomorrow. We will, won't we? And as I said, nothing will surprise me. Spurs land a big signing, doesn't surprise me. Spurs don't do anything, doesn't surprise me. Spurs with a late loan for somebody doesn't surprise me. I just wish we had a plan. I just wish we had a plan, ladies and gentlemen. And you know what? I reckon if you go back to my transfer videos in the summer, I was probably saying the exact same thing. I just wish we had a plan. Not everything needs to be done. You watch Xavi Simons and Cullen Mawani. I mean, when did they come in? Both in the last 4 days of the window, the last 3 days of the window, whatever it was. It's just too much. It didn't materialize. Okay. Well, that's got a bit of Spurs written all over it, hasn't it? Listen, guys, girls, everybody, chill out. Chill out, like a late night radio show. Everybody chill out and listening to the soothing sounds of Savva from FHTV. Yeah, so listen, look, guys, I've got a big day tomorrow at streamings. So I'm going to do a live transfer show in the afternoon. I won't do anything in the morning, unless there's news, unless there's big news. Live transfer show in the afternoon, and then I'm going to join the boys for the Spurs 5 tomorrow. For the end of transfer window show. I believe the transfer window, right, I was having this chat with someone. Is the transfer window shutting at 7 p.m. or is it 10 p.m.? Is it 7 p.m.? I always thought it was 7. Somebody today convinced me it was 10. I thought it was 7. Can anyone let me know? Because that could drastically change. That could drastically change my timings and what I do. But I've got a few other things. It is 7, isn't it? I thought it was 7. Someone said to me it's 10 p.m. Who walks out at half time? I did. I walked out at half time. I walked out at half time today. Yeah. Thought it was appalling. I was frustrated. I'd had enough. And it is what it is. Yeah. Okay. Registration closes at 11. Okay. Yeah. Oh, I like a bit of dark chocolate. Gary, I love chocolate. See, again, I try so hard with people when I think they're trolls to not be trolls. But when people say shit like this, Jared Bowen tomorrow is not a realistic signing. It's not, is it? A realistic signing isn't Jared Bowen on the last day of the deadline day when West Ham are trying to stay up. Just not. Hey. It is what it is. But listen, look, a good point today. A good point. A lot of people had written us off. It's another point in front of the bottom 3 if we're going to look like that, or another point closer to those above us. We'll see. We'll see how good this point was at the end of the season. But again, I feel like after every game, there needs to be some sort of massive meltdown over everything. Who was subbed on? Who was subbed off? Can't believe he did this. It's like, just sometimes, can't we say, yeah, really good comeback, 2-2, good point. But hey, maybe not everyone can. Guys and girls, I'm going to do a couple of super chats. Russell Coit, big up to you. Says Solanke put to the kibosh on the walkout. Well, I think it's always difficult. If you're going to have a walkout at 75 minutes, you're not in control of the walkout, because people are always going to, if the game is on a knife edge, i.e. Dominic Solanke had equalised, 4 minutes earlier? And who's then going to get up and leave on a 75th? I get it. It's tough. But again, there needs to be some action. So I'm not knocking the guys who organised it. Should it have been a walkout at half time? Listen, I don't know. Savva, so you ain't like Deji. I'm not talking about other creators screaming when he scores, doesn't want Arsenal. No, look, I feel like the whole Arsenal thing is, listen, I think Arsenal win in this league. Do you know what no one seems to have talked about throughout all of this nonsense of wanting to lose so that Arsenal don't win the league? Is, are Man City good enough to just keep winning? At the moment, they're not. We're all talking like Man City are just winning after winning after winning. And I feel like everyone's making out like if Man City had beat us today, that it's a guarantee they win the league. I think we need to worry about us. I think we need to worry about Tottenham Hotspur, don't we? Rather than worrying about Arsenal. Listen, and I know this is going to be horrible to hear, but Arsenal are going to win the league. In my opinion, Arsenal are going to win the league. They've got the deepest squad. Yeah. They've got players in every position. They've got multiple players in every position, right? They are flying in all competitions. There's 6 points clear. I'll be shocked if they don't win it from this position. And if they win it, they win it. If they win it, they've deserved to win it over 38 games. But it really is such a small club mentality for me that we're so worried about if Arsenal win the league. We've all got friends who are Arsenal. A couple of my best mates are Arsenal. And they're going to, yeah, you're going to get it, and you have the banter and you move on, don't you? You know, unfortunately, they have built the best squad over the last 6 years. They have. It's taken them time, and everyone can have that row and that debate. But Look at the players that they've got. People like Eze on the bench not even coming on. They've got people like Eze not even coming on. So I think it's, we've got to. I don't know. For me, I just think it's. Yeah, of course, people don't want to hear it. And listen, I'd love Arsenal to not win the league, but my club really comes first. Right, my club comes first before me worrying about if Arsenal win a league title. Right, and at the moment, Spurs need results. Spurs need points. Right, today was a really valuable point. Shame we couldn't make it free, but from the position we're in at half time, it's brilliant to come back. And look, at the end of the day, depending on your age, I've seen Arsenal win a league title before. It's shit, but if they win it, they win it. Right? If they win it, they win it. And we move on. I feel like we've become a little bit inconsequential to them anyway, because we're just nowhere to be seen. I think we've got so many cracks in our own walls that we shouldn't be looking into next doors. Do you know what I mean? We've got so many issues in our own club that we need to deal with. And when I say, someone behind me today in the stand, he said, yeah, we lose this so Arsenal don't win. And the guy next to him just said, oh, come on, mate, we're Spurs. And it was like, yeah, that's how I felt. Like, yeah, we're Spurs. Like we, get your own house in order, as they say, right? Get your own house in order. But mate, you're making out like they've never won this before. They've won this before. They've won this before. Look. Everyone says, "Oh, I despise them." Yeah, of course, no one wants Arsenal to do anything, but unfortunately, the team that does the best over 38 games of a season wins the title. And if that's them, that's them. But for us, we need to concentrate on us, right? We need to concentrate on picking up points. I don't want to go. We can't pick and choose, right? And the one thing I will say is this: how on the one hand can we be like, "Oh my God, our board have no ambition." Our board have no, they've got no drive, no determination. They don't have winning mentality. And in the same breath, fans wanting to lose games so that Arsenal don't win the league. I don't understand it. If you can't take a bit of banter from your Arsenal mates, then I don't know. So if they win it, they win it. I mean, let's be fair. They should have won it a couple of years ago. Yeah. They won it almost 3 decades ago. I don't really care. Listen, at the end of the day, they might win the league, they might not. But we're Spurs, right? We're Spurs. Can we let's worry about us? Let's worry about us, and then we can worry about what happens after that. That's my take on it anyway. For me, there's been far too much airtime given to this should have been losing to Man City thing, City till July. I find it nonsensical. It's not really something I have got involved in the last few weeks. I think it's really silly. Let's just hope that, look, I mean, I think Arsenal can lose a few and still win it. I don't think City are good enough this year. There was a time when it looked like they could go on a massive run. Right now, it doesn't look like they can. Look at them today. Is anyone watching Man City today and saying, yeah, that's Premier League champions? I'm not. I'm not. So, look, it is what it is. I don't think, Drew in the chat, I don't think Villa have got it either. I don't think that Villa have got enough to win a title, nowhere near. They're doing very well, but I don't think they're anywhere near good enough to win a title. And this is the difference, right? Arsenal are swapping out players like Odegaard comes out, Eze goes in. Do you know what I mean? Like Saka went down injured. Don't worry, Madueke can just start. We don't have that. Many teams in the Premier League do not have that capability. Sure. Okay, cool. So you're looking at Man City this season and thinking that's champions. If you are, cool. I listen, what I saw today, what I've seen the last few weeks when I've watched Man City, this does not look like a championship winning team. If they win it, fair enough. But I'm not in the title race. My club is not in a title race. That is not my concern, right? At the end of the day, I just can't see. Arsenal have got 14 games left. I can't see City winning 2 more games than what Arsenal do. Now, if I'm wrong, I'm wrong. I genuinely don't care. I'm not involved in it. It is, you're right. It is. It is Arsenal's to lose. Fortunately, I mean, you look at the table, 6 points. I mean, the goal difference is they're 3 above, but 6 points. Look, Man City have won one. Man City have won one of their last 6 Premier League games. So forgive me if I'm not looking at them and going, yeah, they're winning a title. Look, I at the end of the day, I just don't care. If Arsenal win it, they win it. I'm a grown ass adult. You know what I mean? I really don't care that much. Anyway, guys and girls, it's been a pleasure. It's been an absolute pleasure. Steve Wally, what are you saying, Steve? He said, last protest I'll be doing, walking out in the 75th minute, Savva. I've been to them all, but when Billy did not even turn up to the game, Billy T didn't turn. I don't know. I don't know. I'm not going to get involved in all that. It's not my place to say. I don't know. Look, I just don't. As I said before, I've always said I don't think protests work. I've turned up the last 2 weeks with the last 2 home games with protests in mind, and nothing's changed my mind that they actually work. But look, we'll see. Listen, guys, girls, I'm going to leave it there. Hang on. Kevin Danso to be evaluated further this week. Initial assessments point to a long-term injury. Jed Spence unlikely to return until okay, brilliant. Okay. Okay, brilliant. Good news there. Good news. So who do you think is the bigger club, Spurs or Villa? It makes me mad when people say Villa, but I get where they're coming from. I don't know. Both big enough. Neither massive. Do you know what I mean? It is what it is. It is what it is. Guys, girls, let me do big up to Russell. Yeah, we talked about that, didn't we? So big up to you, my man. And also Dean Law, always very generous with a super sticker. So really, really appreciate that, guys. Look, we got a lot going on tomorrow. We'll see what happens. Listen, do you know what? I'm not going to set an alarm tomorrow. And I hope that I wake up and it'll be my man Ash that will be waking me up with WhatsApps going, we signed so-and-so. So we'll see. We'll see what happens. I'm not predicting anything. I do think we need 1 or 2 in as a minimum. Guys, go and give your loved ones a cuddle, get into bed, stop watching YouTube. Have a good evening. Take care. And as always, come on. Hang on. No. Oh, hang on. I'll tell you what I didn't do. I could redirect you somewhere, couldn't I? 1 second. Let's see if anyone's actually live first. It is 11:15. I'm guessing Sean is not live. I mean, he went live for about 19 hours, isn't he, today? I'll tell you what I'll do. I'll send you over to It's LB because they're Man City, right? They're Man City. So I'll send you over to LB. They're having a panel debate as Man City collapse. So as Spurs fans, you can all get over there and say what you want to them. Just say Savva Raid or FHTV Raid. Much love, everyone. Take care. See you tomorrow. Bye-bye.